The Angry Chicken is a production of Amove TV. Bookmark amove.tv for more gaming and esports shows. The Angry Chicken is directly supported by listeners like you via patreon.com/TAC.
Everyone, get in here! Ready for action! I've got the beast in my sight.
A podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. This is the Angry Chicken.
Welcome back, everyone. This is indeed the Angry Chicken. I'm Garrett, joined as always by Jocelyn. How you doing on this new spankin' ladder day?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm giggling because literally you were like, we're going to record in 3, 2, 1. And then Thrall jumped up on my lap and was like, wow. It's like, wow, okay. I guess that's a good way to start things off.
Well, you know, cats are going to cat, Joss.
I know. Yeah, he's all about the catting. So yeah, Thrall is here. Hi, everybody.
And for the audio listeners, if you somehow are unaware, Thrall is Jocelyn's magnificent, chonky orange cat.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
One day
So yeah, I am totally ready for this. I promise I'm ready for this. It's just, man, I am in a punchy mood.
there's so much going on, as I feel like I start every episode of this show for the past 2 months straight, saying there's so much going on in Hearthstone right now. So much so that I have actually earmarked duplicate protection, free decks for new and returning players, and Res Priest doing pretty well post priest changes as top of the show little asides. They don't even get like news segments.
Those would have been, I was gonna say, those would have been full episodes like this time last year.
Yes, they would have been. They really freaking would have been. And like, I can't even come to the show with a personal anecdote about how, my God, priests get changed, then priests are worried, and Res Priest is doing amazing, with some personal anecdote about how much I hate playing against Res Priest, because frankly, Jocelyn, I kind of hope you have a really inconvenient car mishap, like a flat tire or maybe a dead battery if you're playing Warrior right now, because Warrior...
Oh, I was like, me personally? What?
Not you.
What did
No.
I do to you?
I want a really manageable, inconvenient experience to befall Warrior players at the moment. That's where my ire is. That's the target of my ire right now. Because I just go... Yeah, it's not working out. It's not working out for me at the moment, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. There's like so much happening. Obviously the big topic when we get in the news today is going to be the Ranked Ladder Revamp. But there, like I mentioned, like duplicate protection is now alive. Seeing as I've been going up ladder, I've actually been getting like packs that I haven't thought about purchasing or been getting for a while because of your first time rewards for hitting certain milestones on the new ladder. So that's very cool that duplicated protection is live. Frankly, for classic packs, it's really just a few legendaries that I'm missing, so it hasn't really affected me yet because I haven't been particularly lucky with the classic packs that I have won. But I will say I am legitimately more excited for opening those classic packs than I would have been before this week, which is cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I'm glad that ladder is more rewarding and more immediately rewarding, especially with the card back, because it was always kind of weird to me that you had to like go through and earn your 5 wins, and then you still had to wait usually another like 25 to 30 days, depending on how early in the month you actually got your wins. But it was like, man, I'm so stoked for this card back, but I have to wait until next month to actually get what I earned. So it's really cool that now you can, just get your 5 wins and then bam, card back, show it off.
Yeah, I like that as well. It just seems that's just the kind of thing. It's like nice, like I don't even say quality of life, because I don't think anyone was like, oh my God, my Hearthstone experience would be so much better if I just got next month's card back immediately. But it's the kind of thing that just feels right. It's just a nice little touch. And I've already gotten my code back. Yeah, you're looking at such a good Hearthstone player. I have already achieved 5 wins today.
Nice. And Dizzy in the chat room is saying, I was torn about winning on bronze 8 because the snow flipper is too cute. I had the same feelings with Angry Chicken. I'm like, it's been so long since I've been down at Angry Chicken rank. I'm like, I just want to stay here forever. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to be here every month.
You get to check in every month. You get to check in, and then you immediately get to say goodbye and hope. And because you and I will always have star modifiers, have bonus stars.
Obviously,
we're just gonna skip
all
multiple
of the bonus stars.
We're gonna skip multiple ranks all at the same time. It's gonna be great. So I started this season with 9 bonus stars. Outing myself in case anyone's curious about where I ended last season, or possibly MMR, which we're also gonna get in today. We got some really like nerdy number crunchy things to talk about today. But
yeah, I don't know if they actually ever said how they were going to do the transition from the old ladder to the new ladder. So I don't 100% know if it's based on where you finished the last month or this new like hidden MMR thing, because you can't see your opponent's rank anymore when you're in ladder games, which I actually kind of like. It's like it takes away, I mean, outside of playing in somebody with a legend card back, it kind of takes away the, oh, I'm playing somebody who's, like punching down, basically. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. Like, I wish that had been some clarification, because I think I got 8 bonus stars and I was a little bit kind of surprised because I've just been playing so much Battlegrounds, you guys, so much Battlegrounds.
Well, as we're going to find out later when we get into the nitty gritty. It depends. It can depend on how many stars you get, whether it's this transition period or any season here following. There are ways that you could get more stars than you might expect. It's really interesting, but you and I have not had any experience with the free decks, which are now up for grabs for new and returning players. I made the mistake of dusting off my European account to be my mobile Battlegrounds account, as I've mentioned on multiple episodes now. So even on that account, I guess I could log into my Asia server account and see about it, because I don't think I've ever actually logged into that one. So I would be considered a new player. I should. Yeah.
So you would be a new player on Asia. Yeah. So I think I haven't logged in. I did have European and Asian accounts, but I mean, it's been years, so it should be. I should be a returning player on both, because it was 4 months from March 17th, right? So
yeah. So you should definitely be good. But there's just so much freaking awesome happening right now. It's been pretty far from my mind. The thing at the forefront of my mind is I also like playing WoW and Heroes of the Storm, but I also want to play Battlegrounds, but also constructed Hearthstone is just like having a renaissance at the moment, and it's only going to get more insane next week when Outland drops. So that's my concern. So
it's so fast.
I can't say, hey, log into my Asia account and see what new and what it's like to get a free deck is like. That was nowhere near the forefront of my mind. So anyways, before we get into this week's news, we want to thank those of you supporting us over at patreon.com/TAC. If you like what we're doing here at The Angry Chicken and you want to support us, that is the best way to do so. You get access to the Angry Chicken Discord, an ad-free feed, plus some other perks as well. So go check it out, patreon.com/TAC. We really appreciate the support, everybody. And to our most recent patrons, Robert Berguno and Ian Kjeldsen is how I'm going to choose to pronounce that one. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. And also thank you for giving me challenging last names to pronounce on the level of Weinzerl. So
yeah, a K and a J next to each other, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. Mostly because I wouldn't know where to start.
Hope I did a good job. But with that in mind, let's get to it. This week's Hearthstone news.
Good news, everyone!
The Ranked Ladder Revamp is here. It's not even 24 hours old yet, although closer than one might think, because it went live at like 3 a.m. Eastern time, I believe.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
But I
confirm, was still awake.
I was attempting to sleep. I definitely didn't have the thought to actually play Hearthstone. My thought was, if one more Chihuahua in this bed starts snoring, I guess I'm going to go sleep on the couch, because I would never harm my Chihuahuas. I love them deeply. And maybe even threaten them with harm. But yeah, I had no one cares. I had personally a very bad night of sleep last night because all of the chihuahuas decided to snore. So anyways, the Ranked Ladder Revamp is here. We 2 episodes ago, we did a pretty detailed rundown of exactly what that means. A quick recap. We now have leagues. We have bronze through diamond. Legend rank is still there. If you progress all the way through diamond, Legend behaves the same as before. And for bronze through diamond, there are 10 ranks within each of those 5 leagues. And then 10 and 5 ranks of all of those leagues is a new ranked floor. So if you hit 10 or 5 in any of those 5 leagues, you could not fall below that. On top of bonus stars, which we're going to talk a lot about. But again, we more or less detailed that 2 episodes ago. So if you missed episode 257, and you're curious about what the hell's going on with Ranked Ladder Revamp and you don't want to read up about it, you'd rather listen to our wonderful voices explain it to you, that's the episode to go and check out. But I, Jocelyn, ended up being a lot less productive today than I expected, than I planned on being, because I have basically only played Hearthstone Ladder today after I was done with some, first of the month upkeep and recording a WoW podcast. It's the only thing I've done today. And if you go over to Garrett Art on Twitter, you can see my personal emotional journey through the new ladder system because Joss, and again, quick reminder for listeners out there, we're all getting reset to bronze 10, which is what happened. We all started today at bronze 10. You may be sitting there right now if you haven't logged in to play yet today, or if you had an experience like I did when you first started playing on the new ladder, which is I logged in, bronze 10. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. Let's get to some games. In the back of my mind, I'm going, they said they're matching us up via MMR right now. I wonder if I'm going to notice that I'm playing against someone who's supposedly at the same skill level as I am. And I opened up 0-3 at bronze 10, Jocelyn. 0-3.
That seems to be generally the trend that I've seen. And maybe it's just because the people who are winning aren't posting, but I've seen a lot of people say, like, I lost 3, 4, 5 in a row at the very start of the season. And then it seems to catch up, I guess, in a way, or like even out, like it starts to figure out a little bit more like who you should be playing against and who you shouldn't be playing against. And it's kind of moving forward from there, because I've seen that you're not the only one who had a really rough start to this ladder.
Oh, well, I'm glad you are here to report on that, because when you put something out on Twitter, which I did, I this is, if you go to my Twitter, you can see my emotional journey. I was like, ooh, open to 0-3. This kind of hurts.
Yeah, literal salt shaker, you guys. Literal salt shaker. All
of the replies were people telling me how good they were doing and how high they had already climbed. So I was just like, oh no, I just suck. It was kind of my reaction.
I really think it's the first 3 to 5 games. I've seen a lot of people say, I did really poorly for my first few attempts, and then all of a sudden, went on a win streak, or, So I think, it's learning and adjusting.
I may have actually technically opened 0-4, because you started spectating me and I went up against my second warrior out of those 4 games, and I was like, nope, I just left because I'm bronze 10. I can't lose stars. I'm like, screw it. I don't want to play against warrior. I'm going to go do something else because I'm already full tilt. And I did. Yeah. I went and got some work done. Doesn't matter. No one cares. Came back later. Have basically been playing all day. And I am now, Jocelyn, Platinum 2.
Nice.
And I think I went on a 7 or 8 game win streak. I should have kept my deck tracker open so I could actually tell you. But I was feeling...
Well, yeah, and with win streaks, you earn 1 star for a win, 2 stars for a win streak, and then it's multiplied by whatever your current multiplier is. So if you are, starting off the season on a win streak and you have an 8 or 9 times multiplier, then you're getting 14, 16, 18, 20 stars every time you're on a win streak. So you can climb really quickly if you can go streaking.
Yeah,
I
went streaking today, apparently. That's exactly what happened. I ended up, oh my God, I played just shy of 30 games today. that's a lot.
A lot.
That's a lot for me. I usually play some Heroes, play some World of Warcraft, play some Battlegrounds. It's just been, this feels like beta Hearthstone to me. Just go. And I actually am struggling to remember how to see the actual order in which my games took place, but it doesn't matter. I went on quite the hot streak, and it's like I started feeling very salty because of the opening of just like, oh, loss, just bottoming out the needle at bronze 10, just like it doesn't feel good. And then like hit my first win streak, and it was just like, oh my God. And I even tweeted about this, and I stand by this, is like that how bad it feels to like open up this like new season like 03. That's how good it feels to go on a win streak, because it's just like they have a graphic for each individual star, even if you're on a win streak and it's multiplicative. So at one point I was staring down 18 stars at the top of my screen as they then like magically funnel into my character, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm done with bronze, and I'm halfway through freaking silver, like, basically. That feels really good. What's just weird is seeing like my win rate kind of sucks today. I'm not that much above a 50% win rate, and yet and so that's just odd. It's not a bad thing. It's just, as someone who keeps when I go on a long laddering session, I keep my eye on my stats like the whole time, and I haven't had a day's ladder session with that low of a win rate in quite a while. Now, part of that is because I've been a filthy Dragon Hunter player for a while now, but that is the lowest win rate I've had in a while, and yet I feel like I've made so much more progress. Who knows how long that anecdotal feeling will last once we're used to this ladder and all of that. I think it's actually doing a fairly good job of at least my experience in Battlegrounds, because I feel like when I win in Battlegrounds, I tend to jump up quite a lot. And when I lose, my losses are never like, I'm not usually ending up at 7 or 8. So like I'm around like 5 or 6, which is kind of like middle of the pack. So it's like I'm winning 80 or 90 points, and then I might lose like 30 to 40 points. So it doesn't feel like I feel like I'm always making like a positive progress. And I think that this system is really capturing that feeling as well, because when you're winning, 8 stars and then you lose a game and then you drop down 1 star, it's like you don't feel like it's so granular as like 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down that it used to be. Like it takes you a long time to lose your stars that you've gained as part of your early multipliers. Yeah, I'm down to a 2-star bonus now because I started with 9, and you lose 1 star every 5 ranks essentially. So once I hit bronze 5, I was down to 8 stars, silver 10, 7 stars, so on and so forth. So now that I am at the, trying to break in the diamond, I'm down to just 2 stars. And once I hit diamond 10, I will be out of bonus stars because I started with 9. Had I hit legend. So then you'll have to climb naturally, air quotes, with the, without a multiplier through diamond into legend, if that's what you choose. So you basically have 30 stars now you have to earn, which is almost basically essentially like rank 5, right? In the old ladder system. Yeah. You had 25 stars with no win streaks. And you're now making me realize I don't remember when win streaks end, if it's diamond entirely or just diamond 5. I'm not sure. If you can still win streak, then it's basically equal to the way it used to be. Maybe someone in chat room, possibly with purple hair. They ended diamond 5. Excellent. Thank you, Celestalon. Thank you so very, very much for that clarification. Completely out of the back of my mind. But yeah, I think my 1-day review is that the highs are so much higher than they were before, and the lows are exactly the same. So I think it is a very large net positive for just the fun factor of ladder. Mm-hmm. And also knowing that who you are playing is supposed to be in generally the same vicinity as you are. Skill level does give this back of my mind sense of accomplishment when I'm winning games, even if it is down in bronze. Also, as salty as I was and as an emotional creature as I am, getting that first win at bronze 10 felt really good. It was like, yeah, know your place. I think it was a rogue, and it's actually a really good matchup for me, but it's neither here
Doesn't
nor
matter.
there. Neither here nor there, man. I opened up against 2 mech paladins and 2 warriors, and they're not fantastic matchups, and I was a little salty about it. So
Just a little bit.
doesn't matter. I feel like I'm more or less where I belong. I try to get Dad Legend every month. That's kind of where I, as a general Blizzard gamer, try and send myself. Which is
really interesting because you have now in this new system essentially reached, give or take, the kind of area of the ladder that you would normally reach in a month. You've done it in a day.
Yes. Now, granted, I've played a lot more Hearthstone today than I do on an average day.
True, but even still, was there ever a time when you reached your monthly goal on the first of the month?
No. No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
So it seems like anecdotally that you are now getting back up to the place on the ladder where you belong really quickly. And now you still have a ladder grind waiting for you, but it didn't take you forever to get back to the place that you belong in terms of your MMR, your ranking, and your actual skill as a Hearthstone player. So it seems like, again, anecdotally, day one, that this system is doing a better job than the old system, even with the smaller reset of only the 4 ranks. This still feels like it's probably doing a better job of shaking people out to where they belong a little bit quicker.
I agree with everything you just said. Like overall, the system feels good. And at the same time, I don't think it feels too rewarding because there's there's a darkness at the end of the tunnel, and that is no longer having bonus stars. And there's that feeling, at least for me, where I'm like, oh, soon we're about to we're going to have some real damn Hearthstone on our hands. And now, but also at the same time, the cool thing is we've had real Hearthstone on our hands the whole time because you've been because of your hidden MMR, you're getting matched against similarly skilled players. But there's a lot of things bouncing around the back of my mind, and I don't want to get too much into it here. And I'm also curious what our listeners at home think about all this. So please write in tacpodcast@gmail.com. That is our email. But part of my thought is this is inherently a card game, and that comes with just matchups straight up. So how much of the climb is just I got lucky matchups versus so on and so forth. But you could also get a terrible matchup and they could draw poorly, and you could draw God tier and still win. So there's so much variance that I don't know. But I like the idea of an MMR in a card game, and something that is inherently has more than average RNG compared to, I'm just going to, for the sake of this conversation, compared to other Blizzard games, because this new ladder system and the fact that we're even using the term MMR feels like StarCraft, feels like Heroes of the Storm, feels like Overwatch, right? That's just where my brain goes. There's just inherently more RNG in this. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious how I feel long term, but short term, I feel very positive about the Ranked Ladder Revamp. So, and we're not even done talking about it because we got the nerdiest deep dive FAQ posted to the forums 40 minutes ago, I think.
Oh man, I didn't see it.
Yeah, thankfully, not even in the chat room. Celestial linked me to this on Twitter because we were going back and forth talking about a really interesting revelation for me. Maybe they mentioned this somewhere, but I was completely ignorant to it. That you can get bonus stars based on your MMR. Essentially, whichever is higher, your current rank or what the game says your MMR is, that's going to dictate your bonus stars for the next season. And the second...
Okay, that makes a lot more sense then, because I was really confused about how many bonus stars I got, because last season, I think I ended at 12 because I just did not play. I haven't played in 2 months. I've just been playing Battlegrounds. So I play enough to get my card back and that's it. So...
I mean, you could really just say because Battlegrounds, which if it ever becomes too much and we actually spin off and make our own Battleground show, it would be called Because Battlegrounds.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Galakron's Awakening. It just didn't kind of punch things up as much as and shake things up as much as say the Rise of the Mech event did or anything. So I was just I didn't fall back in love with Standard because Battlegrounds was just so fun. It's not really anything against Standard. It's just Battlegrounds is so fun to me. So I spent so much time in there that my rank was bad, and I was like, oh man, I'm not going to get any bonus stars. Like, this is going to be such a slog. And then I was like, oh, 8. That's weird. That's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, a lot of that is covered in this FAQ, and so Celeste and I were doing some back and forth because I originally, our back and forth, which I've got linked in the show notes if you want to see it, started because I asked, hey, is there a place to see like how many bonus stars I have secured for the following season? Because I think that would be a cool thing to see. And there was some back and forth, but like the TLDR on it is like, it's a little more complicated than that. And in that, Celestalon brought up that, well, your stars could potentially also be dictated by your MMR. It's rank or MMR, whichever value is higher as far as the system is concerned.
So basically, once you get to a rank in a given month, you can be sure that you will get at least that many stars, right? So if you get to legend, your MMR doesn't matter anymore. You've got the max number of stars because your rank is legend. So you get your 11 bonus multiplier. And then below that, it's like every time you hit, diamond 5, diamond 10, whatever, you can say, okay, I know for sure I'm going to get 10 stars or 9 stars, but I could potentially, if my MMR is high enough, get 11 stars because actually my MMR dictates I should be in legend, right?
Yes, more or less.
So your rank is like a
10 is the guaranteed for legend. 11 is the max of this.
Okay.
I haven't seen any clarification anywhere about like where you roll over into I'm such a god, I now have 11 stars. And this FAQ doesn't mention it, and none of the conversations I've had with any Team 5 members have mentioned it either. Maybe,
but there is a magical, mystical place.
I would imagine
of 11 stars
that it depends is the answer, because that's very much the answer that comes out of a lot of this. Celestion in the chat room right now is saying there is no clear line because it's MMR based. So I'm kind of getting like almost a sliding scale vibe from this, that it's kind of like you versus other people that are kind of in your skill level. Don't quote me. This is just my own feeling, but there is an official forum post right now that CM Kerfluffle put up, which this might be a new CM name for me. I don't recognize Kerfluffle.
I don't recognize it because I'm pretty sure that I would remember that name because it's definitely glorious.
Did you get a secret job at Blizzard, and how are you still podcasting if you did?
Shh. That's the secret part.
Right now,
I did not. Just so we're 100% clear.
Yeah. So there's a lot in here, and I highly recommend you go and read it in full if you haven't already. But I'm going to talk about some of the highlights today on today's episode. And first of all, before we even get into how like MMR can affect your stars, there's 2 matchmaking pools, which is something I didn't understand either. Matchmaking by rating, aka MMR, which is what we've been talking about this whole episode, and by rank. And apparently when your star bonus multiplier is bigger than 1 or you are legend rank, you are generally in the first matchmaking pool, which is matchmaking by rating. But when your star bonus drops to 1, meaning you no longer have a bonus multiplier, you are in the second pool, which is, for the most part, matchmaking by rank, which makes a whole lot of sense because if the system is working as intended, that should more or less be working out anyway, whether there's two kind of delineations or not, right? I guess that would be one delineation between 2 things. Doesn't matter. But I found that fascinating. And then they kind of went one level deeper, saying that there are 2 matchmaking pools because everyone resets to bronze 10. This is to help with fair matchmaking, which makes sense. It's also the whole reason MMR was brought up in the first place. And then there are apparently, and this is where I started to get interested because I was curious about MMR decay, which is something that exists in StarCraft and Heroes of the Storm right now. I believe it also exists in Overwatch. I don't know. I haven't played Overwatch in a really long time. But the kind of thing where like if you do not play a game in X amount of period, your MMR starts to decay, meaning you start going lower even though you haven't technically been losing games or displaying a lack of skill. The game just assumes your knowledge is out of date.
Your skill goes down.
And your skill has gone down because you're out of practice. And that's what I was trying to get out of Celestion in our back and forth. I was like, hey man, is there MMR decay? And he's like, it depends. It's not as cut and dry as other MMR systems you may be familiar with. But anyway, apparently at the start of the season, you will recover your MMR to a certain threshold if it dropped below that value, which is based on what your rank is in the previous season. And this is a soft protection against intentionally tanking your MMR, so that you're like, for some reason, for the next, like, well, I guess it makes actually a lot of sense, because if you say I get up to my Diamond 5 or Legend or whatever, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm already here. I want easy wins at the start of next season. I'm going to just lose on purpose. Q concede, Q concede, Q concede. Yeah. The system goes, nope, you got the Legend, mister, or you got the Diamond 5, or you got the Platinum 9, like whatever. We're on to you. You're no. We're not matching you against the people that have no idea what's going on, that are just slamming eye for an eye in all their Paladin decks.
Those are the people who absolutely know what's going on.
It's been a while since I had an eye for an eye meme, so I just wanted to put it in there.
That's literally what Animal Crossing Island ended up being called. Isle for an Isle.
Isle for an Isle. That's amazing. I didn't hear about this. I saw that thread, but I didn't check back in on it to see what you landed on. But that's
what I landed on.
Obviously what it should have been. Is your character name Unicorn something?
Just Joss.
Just Joss. Okay, wonderful.
I didn't get creative with my character. I just am me. I do, however, have unicorn sweatpants in Animal Crossing, so it's basically exactly me.
I'm good to know that you are on brand even in a virtual island.
Yep.
But all of this is anyway. All of this I find really fascinating. Also, MMR is not reset at the end of each or at the beginning of each season, which does not surprise me. If there's like a protection about your MMR not dropping below a certain value, it would make sense that your MMR would also not reset. And apparently there's some sort of renormalization process that takes place at the start of each season to keep the distribution in a nice bell-shaped curve. So like, in short, my understanding here is that our MMR should be relatively close to where it was last season, unless something like really crazy happened. Like maybe, I don't know. I would have to imagine that if you had a pretty low MMR and then you go on a tear and go to Legend, that it's probably going to have some sort of rather sizable correction, but they don't get into that. And then on the subject of MMR decay, in the FAQ, they basically say that you will not lose bonus stars for missing one season. They do say, though, that you may lose stars if you miss multiple seasons.
Okay.
But they don't.
So if, let's say I don't play it all this season, which would be crazy, but let's say I don't, then when I log in May 1st, I should still have 8 bonus stars. But if I don't log in again until like August 1st, I might only have, 4 or 5 bonus stars.
Right. And there's no, at least they didn't say here, and also the vibe I'm getting is that there's like no hard rules about it where like 3 months equals 3 stars gone. It doesn't get into any of that. That it's all, it sounds like it's all
that
relative.
was just, guys, I was making up numbers. I have no idea how much time you could take off before it starts impacting your star bonuses. I don't.
No, I know that. I just want to make it abundantly clear that was an example. But yeah, all of this is really interesting, and also means when Battlegrounds 2 comes out and I go on a bender, I don't need to worry so much about like.
You mean when Battlegrounds comes out? Because technically it's still beta.
You know what, Joss? You know what? But real quick aside, you're going to get me off topic. Real quick aside.
Okay. I thought you were just going to yell at me for actuallying you.
No. By all means. I just like, it's been a while since I've spent a lot of time with a non-Blizzard game. And so I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty on the weekends. I'm rather enjoying the new Call of Duty. But oh boy, that game is buggy as hell. And I know that technically Warzone is in beta, but like just the menus of the actual game itself, buggy as hell. Freezing up, frame rate issues. The game itself runs fine, but that game cannot navigate the menu without trying to murder my computer. And it just made me remember, because you mentioned that Battlegrounds is in beta, that a lot of times Blizzard betas that I'm in are more sound of code than actual shipped games from other studios that I play. And it's been a long time since I have been reminded of that. But thank you, Call of Duty, and your shoddy menus for reminding me of this. So I just wanted to, I don't know. It's been a while since anyone's been particularly hard on Blizzard, but they had a rough last couple of years. And I think it's just important to remember the games at least still work quite well. So It's been in the back of my mind. I've been thinking about it. But anyways, this is all really cool. I love that they explicitly stated here that I don't really need to stress about having like an off season where I don't play a lot of games or maybe don't rank up very high, because at the end of all of this, the biggest little piece of anxiety dangling over my head, Jocelyn, is the thought of what if I do just go on a Battlegrounds bender? What if somehow I lose my bonus stars? Because if there is one thing looking at this ladder which I haven't experienced and hopefully never will, that concerns me, it's that if you are like new to this game and you have no bonus at all, this ladder is going to take 1 billion years to climb up.
Yeah, and I think the idea in general is that if you are new to the game, you shouldn't, like, the expectation shouldn't be that you'll be legend in your first month. Like, it's going to take a while to climb. It's going to take a lot of game knowledge. You're going to have to grind a lot of games. And, your first month, maybe, getting up into silver is a good kind of target. And then the next month you'll have 2 bonus stars. So then maybe you're going to be able to push a little bit further into silver or up into gold, which when I look at, games like Heroes or games like StarCraft, I mean, Bronze League hero for life in StarCraft, you guys. It was hard to get to silver. I think I did it like 1 time, maybe. And even then it wasn't in solo. It was like my team rank was like silver. So yeah, I got carried is what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, it took a really long time to kind of increase my MMR and increase my rating in other games. So why would the expectation of Hearthstone be any different? It's only because we've had these monthly resetting ladders that have, like we've been, going from 25 to 1 as opposed to, bronze through legend, bronze through diamond into legend, like our system's a lot more subtle now, whereas before it was very like discreet. And I like it better now. I think it reflects a little bit more of your levels of skill and accomplishment as opposed to, the way it used to be. So I'm on board.
I'm glad you brought that up because I haven't thought about a system like this coming to Hearthstone for a really long time. If you remember in the very early days of this show, because frankly in beta, we did have like a bronze through diamond system, but it was nothing like this. Absolutely nothing like this.
It had Master and Grandmaster at the top, didn't it? And if you just played at some point there, I'm pretty sure Grandmaster was a thing that you were in Hearthstone.
I do not remember that.
Was it Master or was it something else? But there was something right at the top that like everybody was able to earn if they just played enough.
Ooh,
because I remember like all the streams, like everybody was saying like Hearthstone insert term here. And it's like, yeah, everybody is that. But yeah, I'm totally blanking on what I thought it was Grandmaster, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting point anyway. So if you haven't read it, again, this is a FAQ ranked mode overhaul matchmaking on the official Hearthstone forums right now. I just did some highlights here. There's some really interesting stuff in here. They go through a general breakdown of bonus stars, which is I think kind of what you were getting into earlier, Joss, which is like, hey, at what rank do I get X amount of stars, and kind of what I would like to see reflected in the game. But if it does depend, I can understand the intentional decision not to display that in game.
Yeah, I think this is basically like your guaranteed numbers, right? This is like if you hit this, you will get this number of bonus stars. And then it's like, if you happen to hit Platinum 10, which should be 6, but your MMR is much higher, then might get 8 or 9. So I think it's a good system. It seems like it anyways.
Yeah. Which I guess, honestly, so if I started with 9 and my minimum for getting back to Diamond 5, because I would most likely get 9 anyway, even if I didn't reach that. That's kind of cool that like my bonus stars runs out for the last 5 to get back to like the guaranteed minimum of stars that I achieved before. I think that's a good system. I know that's not what this is saying.
It feels like you got where you should be quickly, right?
Yeah. And Celestalon in chat room is dropping some really interesting like use case scenarios, which like I believe I mentioned which is mentioned in this post, which is saying like you are not going to lose all of your bonus stars if you miss 2 months. So don't be concerned about that. You just may start to lose some bonus stars if you're gone for more than 1 month. But Celeste in the chat room saying that he knows someone who didn't play for a year and started this season with 8 bonus stars. So that's pretty nice.
In before they logged out at rank 1 legend.
Yeah. Yeah. So
this may or may not actually reflect your experience.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. That seems extremely slow. But again, it seems like all of this kind of depends on certain scenarios. So
yeah,
don't take it as like a concrete thing. Like I can take a year off and still have 8 bonus stars, which it'd be a weird thing to like just state. Like, that's cool. I guess you just don't want to play Hearthstone anymore. That's okay. Or maybe you just want to exclusively play Battlegrounds now. But that would be a weird thing. Anyways, I think that's enough on the subject of the ranked ladder. I'm sure we will talk about it again next week after we've gotten to spend a little more time with it than less than 24 hours. But again, I'm pretty damn happy with it. And I was like ready to like snap my keyboard in half when I first started playing it. So I think that's saying something.
Absolutely.
Curse you, mech paladins and warriors. Just warriors in general. Man, you know me and warriors. Dr. Boom just got unnerved. At least I only need to worry about him for 5 more days.
Yeah, literally less than a week.
In standard. And let's face it, there's nuttier things happening in Wild. So, also, it was so cool to just log into another personal very cool login today and just see so many people in Hearthstone playing ladder. And like every second I could check my friends list and everyone's like numbers and emblems had changed. In some cases, drastically.
I noticed that too. I was like, because I still have Cora on my friends list, and it was like she was like bronze something, and then the next time I looked at my friends list, like 10 minutes later, she was silver something, and the next time I looked 10 minutes later, she was gold something. I was like, damn, go Cora, go.
So I have one critique.
Okay.
One critique. Platinum looks exactly like silver if you're not looking for the little wings underneath. Gold looks so much shinier and fancier and more beautiful than platinum.
I tend to find that anyway, though. Anytime that there's a platinum anything in, gaming or whatever, like it always looks like gold is nicer.
Yes. It's a difficult thing to depict.
Yeah, especially since like IRL, like silver and platinum are very, very similar looking to each other. Like the naked eye, at least my naked eye, cannot tell the difference.
Hyper reflectivity, kind of hard to pull off in a 2D.
At least it doesn't go like silver, then white gold, and then platinum, because then we'd be in real trouble.
White gold. Anyways, that's about it. And I probably have only noticed it because it's the rank I've spent the most games at today. That and bronze. I am intimately familiar with what the bronze emblems look like and what the platinum emblems look like.
I kind of wish that we, just to get rid of this silver platinum issue, I kind of wish that we had like wood and then bronze and then silver, then gold, then diamond, and there just was no platinum.
I like that. But plus, I've always felt in Blizzard ladders that gold should feel like a higher accomplishment than it is, because it's gold. That's what you get when you get first place. But instead, I just feel like middle of the bell curve
in the
sucker.
Middle, yeah.
Like I'm just an average player. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of how I feel. But anyway, doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. Would you like to thank today's first sponsor, Jocelyn? Because I'm curious. Joss. How do you feel about going out and shopping for furniture? You a big fan?
I am totally paying attention to you right now, Garrett.
Oh, I'm sure. I definitely don't see a cat on your lap that clearly does not want to leave.
Sorry. Okay. Yes. Shopping for furniture. Oh man. Nailing this. Okay. Shopping for couches is the absolute worst. Oh, I hate, especially right now. I can't go out. I don't like going out. Putting on pants sucks. So I get to stay home and I can take a look at everything they have to offer over on Burrow. And not only is it an amazing, easy shopping experience, but the ease of use continues when you get these things home, because they come in very small, easy to carry boxes, and then you can take it whatever room of your house you need your couch in, and then you can just unpack it and put it together without a lot of crazy tools. And man, Garrett, it is so convenient and so easy. As someone who has moved a lot, I lived in a different house every year from the time I left my parents' house until we like bought our home. So for like 15 years, I moved like 15 times, and couches are not easy to move unless you get a Burrow couch.
Can attest. I was about to start asking you at the start of New Year's, hey, what month is Jocelyn moving month for TAC? Because it just
right.
happened every damn year like clockwork.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Fun stuff. Listen, the idea of like having a couch that is like easy to move around when it arrives, ooh, that's enough in its own right. On top of the fact that the offerings over at Burrow, they just look nice. They look updated. The customization is amazing, which is a problem I have run into multiple times now with couches, because it's like, well, I want a sectional, but I want it to look like this, and well, the runner's on the wrong side. And it's like, don't worry about any of that, because like Burrow has customization options where you can get around all of that. So
you can even change your couch. So if you buy, say, just a chair because you live in a small like studio apartment, and then your next apartment, you get a 1-bedroom, and now you want a full proper couch, you don't need to buy a whole new couch. You can just buy pieces to change your Burrow sofa from a chair into a couch. And then you can, as you go and buy a home, then you can buy the extra, like Garrett said, he wanted a sectional. You can buy the extra part to make it a sectional. So it's the kind of thing that once you make your initial investment, it can grow with you.
Lots of room for sleeping cats that don't want to leave you alone too, by the way.
Exactly. Oh my God.
The beginning of this read.
Yeah.
So you should go check them out. Also, they always offer free 1-week shipping and 0 interest financing. On top of all of this, they have a special offer for listeners of TAC. You can go and get yourself $75 off your purchase and free 1-week shipping over at burrow.com/TAC. I like saving money, certainly on comfortable couches. So go check them out. That's BURROW.com/TAC for $75 off at Burrow. We thank them for supporting the Angry Chicken. We thank you for checking them out. Go support the companies that support the Angry Chicken. Thank you so much. And now back into the Hearthstone news this week. Pre-release Firesides are coming home. I mean, they were technically kind of already home, but obviously future Firesides, like events like, hey, everybody, let's get lots of people into one location to open packs early and play Hearthstone together. Back when I was still participating in Firesides, we would get over 100 people on average showing up to our Firesides. Those are canceled, as is to kind of be expected right now. It is the time of nerd, everybody. I hope you're just sitting there realizing that we have trained our entire life for this. There's a reason we have a stack of pajama pants on the corner. But on top, however, the private event functionality for Firesides will still be available. So you can do your own Fireside from the safety of your home and open your packs early if you would like to. So if you want any more information on how to host your own personal Fireside from your living room, or it doesn't have to be your living room, you can do it from your kitchen or whatever. I mean, my first apartment in LA was all of those things. So yeah, you should head on over to the official Hearthstone website. I've gone ahead and added a link into the show notes. A lot of this is detailed in a post from March 24th. So I think it's really rad that they're doing this. I mean, it was pretty cool in the first place when they offered the functionality to host a Fireside from your home. It used to be a lot more strict. It used to have to be like an approved thing in a public area, but they finally got away from that. Do you remember the Nemzi debacle, Jocelyn?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. They've made great strides in accessibility of Firesides, and this makes me happy. So on top of this, the Demon Hunter Prologue releases tomorrow because there isn't enough new awesome stuff coming to Hearthstone today.
They're piling it on.
Yeah. So if we mentioned it again, I think the same episode we talked about the Ranked Ladder Revamp, so it would have been episode 357. But anyway, in case you're listening to this in the future, it's Thursday, April 2nd is the date that we're referencing here. We're going to all be able to play through the Demon Hunter campaign, and completing the prologue unlocks the Demon Hunter. This is how you're going to unlock Hearthstone's first new class in the history of the game. This includes the 10 basic cards and the 20 card initiate set. So get out there and complete that prologue, because you can get it done ahead of time. And then Tuesday, next week, when Ashes of Outlands drops, bam, we've all got our emo, chest tattooed, abs on top of abs, Illidan boy ready to take on ladder.
He's so beefy.
He's extremely beefy. And then, the new art they got for him, which is like, it's Alex Horley, who did a bunch of Illidan art for Burning Crusade, like back in the day. Alex Horley just knows how to draw all the abs, like all of them, like more than any corrupted night elf I think physically should have. But there's something deep down inside of me that has a deep love of things like Dragon Ball Z, that sees muscles on top of muscles that don't quite make sense in my brain and goes, yes, that's exactly what a total rockin' badass looks like.
He's just got so many, and just, yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah. Illidan is, as the cool kids would say, Illidan is extra.
Yes.
So extra.
He's so extra.
So very, very extra. And then finally, much like Firesides, COVID-19 is continuing to impact Hearthstone esports. So Masters Tour Jonkoping and the future Asia Pacific Masters Tour will be online only. This was announced this week. Kind of to be expected. Jonkoping, if you're unaware, is supposed to take place on June 12th and run through the 14th. It's still going to happen during Central European time, to be the most convenient for like the region it was originally supposed to take place in. And Masters Tour Asia Pacific will take place on July 16th through the 19th during Korea Standard Time. So, I mean, that's just kind of a stark reminder of the situation we find ourselves in, that we're making calls for events happening in July.
Yeah. And I mean, it completely makes sense. I understand. I mean, the safety of the staff and the players is, because I think the first one, the June 12th to 14th, is actually, or was supposed to be DreamHack Summer. And so I mean, all these big events are just not going on, and I think it's the responsible thing to do, even if it is a little bit unfortunate. So, but I mean, You can still, as far as I know, qualifications for these are still open, right? So now that we know officially that these are going to be online only, it does actually, even though it's an inconvenient time potentially, it opens up a lot more of these master tours for players around the world who couldn't necessarily travel there. So there's upsides too, and this one, because it's being communicated so far in advance, it doesn't have all the potential problems that the LA one did. So in terms of qualifications and people's travels arrangements and all that kind of stuff. So we know way ahead of time, and it kind of opens it up for a lot more people to potentially qualify. So let's have some big old master tours events from the safety of our homes.
Yeah, the travel considerations is like one of the things that's keeping me pretty positive about the news, because I see July and I go, oh God, like we're still going to be in this by now. But like also it's just considerate to players.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, very likely we'll be in a much better state come July than we currently are. But because if you're hoping to compete in this, that you would need to make travel arrangements so far in advance, this is just, I think, the right call. In terms of,
it's the responsible thing.
Yeah, any sort of travel burden or concerns on players wanting to compete in this, I'm happy that they are announcing this so far in advance. So it's interesting. Now, could we please get casters some halfway decent microphones? And maybe a webcam, which confuses me. I think most of these people stream. Where was the webcams in the last one?
Yeah, it was funny watching, and obviously it came together very quickly, and things were constantly changing, and it went from, having all the players online, but having the casters in a studio to, oh no, we can't even have casters in the studio, so we're going to have to, make them online and do things from their homes. Like everything was very last minute and constantly changing with the LA event. But I think now we have such a big lead time. I mean, like it's only just April 1st and we're talking halfway through June for the original DreamHack Summer event. So when you've got, 2.5 full months of lead time, I think they can make a lot of informed decisions and make some good plans and get the equipment where it needs to go in a way that just wasn't possible for LA. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that we'll probably have some more information for you guys in the coming months as we get closer to these tour events. And hopefully we will be able to actually, see the players a little bit more, see the staff a little bit more, and get some good proper microphones on those casters.
If I was local, I would grab my leftovers, douse them in Lysol, and catapult them over onto your front door. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
So that it's, sanitary. Anyways, I'm excited to watch more Hearthstone, and also the next one will be post Ashes of Outland. So
yes,
let's do it. And also let's talk Battlegrounds, because there was a major patch on Thursday last week that we haven't had a chance to talk about, because all this hubbub about the most significant change to Hearthstone's ladder since our basically the last revamp of floors and stuff being added. This was a bad
I don't
joke.
even know if floors added was the last big thing. I mean, the last ladder revamp on this scale, I feel like would have been back in beta when we went from the old system to the new system. I feel like we've been 25 to legend forever.
I would tip. Actually, I'm wearing a hat so I can do it. I would tip my hat to ranked floors, because I think that was a huge change and a really positive one.
Mm-hmm.
But this definitely is a much larger overhaul.
It's huge.
Sure,
yeah.
But,
Battlegrounds.
yes, let's do it. Let's get to it. If only I was hovering over the correct buttons.
Have a good battle, friend.
So if you are living in ranked Wonderland and not paying attention to the things that are happening in Battlegrounds, patch 17.0 dropped last week on March 26th. And granted, there was a lot of things in that patch that were not Battlegrounds related, but there were quite a few very notable things that were. First off, 4 hero choices is now live. If you have unlocked Battlegrounds bonus stats right now, meaning you could choose from 3 heroes, and you've got visual emotes, and frankly the emotes is the best thing. That's my favorite part of Battlegrounds. I love that Murloc. You now have access to 4 options of heroes at the start of your game.
Right. And I think so you can unlock that now with the pre-purchase, because that's why the 4 hero choices went live, is because it's all part of that whole Battlegrounds ticket that we talked about last week. So you can unlock that now with the pre-order, or you already have it if you had your bonuses already unlocked. But if you don't do the Battlegrounds ticket, which is included with the pre-order, then you will lose your 4 hero access as of the launch next week. So do make sure that you guys are aware of when your Battleground bonuses are resetting and what you need to do to make sure that you either don't lose your 4 hero bonus, or, be prepared for that to happen next week and know how to get that back.
That's also when the Battlegrounds pass that you don't need to get in a pre-order bundle will also be available.
Right. Yeah. So it's in the pre-order bundle right now, and then you can purchase the Battlegrounds only portion post launch.
Yeah. Which I cannot wait for my Euro account, which is my mobile account. That is $19.99 that no longer belongs to me. And I'm going to have 4 options on my side account. I'm really actually freaking looking forward to it. But so that's in. I really like the 4 options a lot. I feel a lot less cornered into what I see as bad picks, or what I know as bad picks, because I am informed through statistics. Certainly not my own opinion, because still very, very wrong about Millhouse. But yeah, also Illidan, the new playable hero for Battlegrounds, is in the game as of the patch from last week. We didn't really get too much of a chance to talk about him, so just a reminder, Illidan's hero power is Wingman. It's a passive start of combat. Your left and rightmost minions attack immediately. And Illidan has not launched to a particularly impressive win rate. You and I have been rather large fans of HS Replay and their new Battlegrounds edition the past couple of weeks.
It's so good.
It is. There's a lot to take in. There is a lot to take in. You do have to pay for most of the statistics outside of like hero win rates and whatnot, but it's a really good tool. But Illidan is fourth from the bottom at the moment, and I believe I do have this currently filtered. I do by 5,600 MMR plus with 540,000 games for this sample size. That's a lot of games. So yeah, Illidan
many games.
Not doing too great. I've only gotten one game with him. I got third place. Like I had a really good time. It's actually, I think, the highest placement I've had. I've been playing mostly ladder the past week. Go figure. Not a lot of Battlegrounds, and I've had pretty rotten luck in Battlegrounds in the games I have played. So like I had I'm sorry. I think I also had a pretty good finish with Deathwing, but everything else, like I had a bad. Like, I think I had a 5th place finish on Millhouse. I had some rough luck. But Illidan's one of my highest freaking finishes in the last week. And I also think this hero power is fun as hell. So, Jocelyn, and I was talking about this in our patron Discord, I think I may have found the first bad hero that I am passionate about.
Yeah, mine I think was probably Reno. I will play him forever.
Oh, I do like Reno as well.
Oh,
who is
so good.
A whole 4 more heroes above Illidan. So
yeah. So bad is relative, but yeah, I think Illidan he's definitely interesting. I haven't had him offered to me yet, so I haven't actually played him, but he's another one that kind of flips what you know about Battlegrounds on its head. Because your left and rightmost minions attacking immediately happens even before the dragon spit flame little 1-drop dudes. Yeah, before they do their thing, your minions attack, right? So it's like you have to start thinking about Battlegrounds positioning in an entirely new way. So, this goes back to, Daryl, this goes to Millhouse, like all these kind of things that make you think about the game, the economy, the combat, even the addition of dragons with the at the start of combat effect of the 1-drop, which I'm totally blanking on the name right now. But anything that makes you completely and utterly rethink how you need to play Battlegrounds is going to have an impact on its immediate win rate. Now, Illidan has only been in since, like you say, Thursday last week. It's now currently, what day is it?
It's Wednesday, Jocelyn.
Wednesday.
Just shy of a week.
Yeah, just shy of a week. So I think that we might see his win rate start to climb a little bit as people get used to playing as him. Because, like I say, you need to completely rethink how you play and what goes on the left and right. Because normally, you're trying to hide stuff on the right. And is it better to just then put that one in and then attack with something else first? It's a whole new puzzle to solve, and I don't think you can solve it in a week. So I think he's going to go up.
I'm so hesitant to make any sort of prediction now, but I think he's going to stay more or less where he is. I would be surprised to see him. That's a lot of games logged, man. That's a lot of games. We haven't figured it out by now. I don't know. But what's his average placement? Yeah, it's not great. It's 7th is his highest average placement. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
he definitely he has
filtering by higher MMR players. But yeah, I ended up doing a juggler comp and I had a blast with it. I had double imprisoners and I just put them on right and left, so they just immediately started pooping out more. Yeah,
dying and juggling, and again, you're guaranteeing a part of the game that used to be random, and not only that, but you get to do it twice in a row, right? So assuming both players have their boards completely full, then whoever gets to start is random. You're taking that piece of randomness out of Battlegrounds, so you have control over how combat is going to go in a way that you don't if you play any other heroes. So I don't know. I think that there's something there with him, and I think we just have to learn what the best comps are for him and how to make it work in a way that we haven't had to make work yet.
Yeah. That is a sentence.
Yeah, I know. Is he better than Flurgle? Everyone is. Every single hero is better than Flurgle.
I'm buying the Flurgle Kool-Aid that Flurgle is better than win rates would make Flurgle appear.
Well, look at his curve. I mean, you're either first or you're last with Flurgle, basically.
Right.
You get the nuts or you don't.
Flurgle is the Ricky Bobby hero, right? If you're not first, you're probably last. The chance of a second, third, or fourth place finish is extremely low with Flurgle. But your first place finish and your eighth place finish, they're damn near equal. Eighth is a little higher, but it's close.
Yeah,
it's close. I don't know. It's just I'm at a point now where it is very hard for me to not pick Flurgle when Flurgle is offered, because it's just like I'm chasing it. I'm just chasing it. Like I know the potential.
Chasing the Flurgle dream.
Well, it's just like, well, what else are you looking at, Joss? Like in talking about placement over like Millhouse. Okay, whatever. Let's get Millhouse out of the picture. And you know what? Never mind. A lot of other heroes up at the top actually have higher first place finishes than or like in the same ballpark. But there's just there's something about that. There's something about just wanting to dance with danger. Don't you want to live a little, Jocelyn? Don't you want to just give it your all? Just
live on the edge.
Yes, exactly. You were just like, you're in a drag race, you're taking it to red line every single gear, and you're hoping your engine doesn't explode. That's playing Flurgle.
You're walking that runway and working it. Oh, wait, wrong drag race.
Make it work. Wrong fashion show, which has been picked up or stolen by Amazon. I'm so confused. What's going on with Project Runway? Anyways, Garrett is a masochist, says Elvix in the chat room. Yes.
Accurate.
Yes. Yeah. Also, nobody has sent me a good Flurgle story that doesn't involve Bran. But props to Crip for putting up a clip of him winning without Bran. Because I don't know if you've been up to date on Battlegrounds clips on YouTube, but I've got some critiques, which is most of these are usually extremely lucky, and it's hard to kind of learn things from Battlegrounds YouTube clips. But that one stuck out to me. I'm like, all right, okay, you didn't get Bran. Hats off. But yeah, there were other changes anyways in this patch as well. A big one is that Cobalt Guardian has been removed from the minion pool. Bye-bye, Cobalt Guardian. We were very familiar with you.
We knew exactly who you were.
Yes, exactly. And taking Cobalt Guardian's place is a new mech called Deflectobot. Deflectobot. It looks like a Pandaren built him. But Deflectobot is also living in the 3-star tier. It's a 3/2 mech minion with Divine Shield and reads, whenever you summon a mech during combat, gain +1 attack and Divine Shield. So it has the Divine Shield juggling that you're kind of looking for.
It's just the same, only different.
Yes, and gains attack. And if you triple it, it gains +2 attack. There's no stacking Divine Shields.
You can't double Divine Shield. Yeah.
Obviously, it also doubles its stats. It's going to be a 6/4. And Deflectobot is doing pretty damn well. If you look at compositions and like winning compositions over on HS Replay, Deflectobot can be found in basically all of the winning mech compositions. Also in the Divine Shield composition, which Cobalt Guardian was already filling that slot. So now that Deflectobot is here, it's interesting to me how well Deflectobot is working as a replacement to Cobalt Guardian, and yet does feel different.
Yeah, it does feel different. And I'm kind of curious. I mean, I guess it has lower starting stats, so maybe that's why. But I'm curious to know the thinking behind replacing an already strong minion with something that interacts with the other minions. Like I'm thinking of the one that summons the microbots, and I'm totally blanking on its name right now, which it's from current Hearthstone. So that's, come on, Jocelyn. Replicating Menace. That's it. Replicating Menace. So like it interacts with the microbots in the same way, in a better way, actually, because it's actually going to gain attack during your turn, like during the combat phase.
Well, it's potentially better, right? And I think that's where it stacks up in an interesting way to Cobalt Guardian, because as you said, Deflectobot starts with half the attack of Cobalt Guardian.
It does, but you can buff it the same way that you used to buff Cobalt Guardian, because you were always looking for your like Metal Tooth Leapers and stuff to buff the attack of your mechs. So, you know, the 6 attack on Cobalt Guardian wasn't even necessarily, it was definitely a strength, but in Battlegrounds, you ramp up those attacks so quickly with all of your battle cry minions. So I don't know. It's interesting. And then it grows in combat as well, which Cobalt Guardian did not do. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to know the thinking behind this change, because it seems like you said, Deflectobot is still found in mech lists or mech comps. It's found in Divine Shield comps. It fills the exact same cost in the exact same place and purpose as Cobalt Guardian did. So I don't really know what the big difference is, other than the cuteness factor. Yes,
really, I think it comes down to the first swing, because like, yes, its attack can grow, but to use your example of microbots, you would need to get all 3 of them, which is actually kind of rare because not always enough room for all 3 microbots to spawn, to go up to 6 attack. And you would also want your Deflectobot to swing first, like right away, to get rid of the Divine Shield, to get maximum like value out of your Divine Shield reset. So the first hit with a vanilla Deflectobot is only going to hit for 3, whereas with Cobalt, it hit for 6, and then potentially unplanned follow-up hits from your enemy's minions running into your Cobalt Guardian would have been guaranteed 6 more damage, whereas on the Deflectobot, it's up in the air depending on how many mechs you have spawned. So there was just more guaranteed value out of a Cobalt Guardian, like right out of the box, whereas the Deflectobot is kind of a build minion. You need to, and even the same with Metal Tooth Leaper, it's still additive, right? Because like if you have 6 guaranteed attack and you add 3 to that, well, you have 9 guaranteed attack as opposed to 6 guaranteed attack with an upside of having more attack down the road. That's kind of where my head is at with that. And I think that's kind of what they realize. I don't know. I look at this and I to me, my brain goes like, oh, I see the challenge of like wanting to change the text on Cobalt Guardian, but because Cobalt Guardian is a card that exists in constructed Hearthstone, they didn't want to do that. And they're like, well, what would be more interesting? Well, let's half the attack. And also they did, the health isn't worth a ton, but it's worth something. They did remove a health in regards to this
I feel like
Guardian, but
I didn't even really like think of the health too much, because it's like by the time I was getting either Deflectobots or Cobalt Guardians on board, it's like if it gets hit without a Divine Shield, it's dying. So it doesn't, like, that doesn't change whether it's 3 health or 2 health. Like
incidental damage through things like unstable ghoul though and whatnot. It's worth mentioning. It's going to take you a little bit longer to buff it out of range of a juggle as well, because you just needed 1 health on a Cobalt Guardian and it could have survived a single juggle, like without a shield. So they're all things to keep in mind. But I think Deflectobot's performance is a really good indicator of just how powerful Cobalt Guardian was, because I think Cobalt Guardian was just more guaranteed power out of the gate, and Deflectobot, which leaves a decent amount of power up in the air because of the way that it works, doesn't matter, it's still working just fine. So this kind of, to me, like really proves why Cobalt Guardian needed to be addressed. So
no, I agree. Like Cobalt Guardian, especially since it was one of the strongest minions from the original Battlegrounds pool, it makes a lot of sense why that was one of the ones that we were getting sick of. That was one of the ones that needed to be addressed. One of the ones that maybe was a balance issue given all of the new stuff that had been added since, like whether it's new heroes or new cards or whatever. Like we're not in the same Battlegrounds place that we were in November. So yeah, it was time. It was definitely time.
Yeah, I agree. And then there was one more minion that was supposed to be added. Felfin Navigator, Murloc at tier 3 with 4 attack and 4 health and a battle cry that reads, give your other minions, your other Murlocs, +1/+1. However, due to a bug, Felfin Navigator will not appear in Battlegrounds until April 7th.
So I think when he actually joins Battlegrounds, then Flurgle's his win rate, his curve, I think is going to change a lot. You're going to have less like first or last and more like second, third, fourth place finishes. Like I think it's going to even out a little bit.
We're gonna have a mesa as opposed to a bell curve. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Nice. So it's just like a horizon, I guess.
It's kind of it's like an upside down bell curve because it's like lots of ones and lots of eights, but not a lot in the middle.
It's a fat cat's stomach. It's just like hanging.
There you go. But yeah, so I think once this Murloc actually makes it into the game, then I think Flurgle is going to do a lot better. So yeah, I welcome our new Murloc overlords starting April 7th.
I am afraid and simultaneously excited for a world where Murlocs are more consistent.
Yeah.
You can, I feel like if it becomes an issue, we can address the top end. Because right now, like the mid game for them is just, it's just a massive risk that you are taking on.
Right. And so the addition of a strong buff your whole rest of your tribe tier 3 minion is going to shore up that mid game. And I think that then they're going to be able to make it to the late game. And then you're right, that might be where we need to make some adjustments. Yep, but maybe. Yeah, and especially with this Felfin Navigator being a battle cry minion, it means it's the kind of thing that like if it stays on your board, cool, because 4/4 stats is decent, but it's the kind of thing that you can buy and sell and buff and buff and buff and buff. So yeah, it's going to get Murlocs through that mid portion the same way that, you know, your menagerie builds and your beast builds and everything else are currently trying to make it through.
Yeah, I agree. And now I don't want to spend too much time like talking much more about the Battlegrounds meta because we just had so much to talk about today. I don't want to, you know, keep the show going on too much longer, but I do want to mention that, Jocelyn, I was wrong about a second thing.
What?
I was wrong about a second thing in Battlegrounds, and that's Pyramad. Pyramad is in the top 10 now. What a world we are living in. I don't know how I feel
about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either, other than a little dumb because 4 health for 1 gold is a pretty big chunk of stats that can really mess with breakpoints. And Yogg, a hero whose hero power isn't worth very much, like past turn 5, turn 6. Yogg has really high average placement because Yogg's ability to get guaranteed buffs on the early turns of a Battleground session is basically free wins for the early rounds. So you're just
I don't think I've ever beat a Pyramad since the patch. Like I don't think I've had a win in the first 5 to 6 turns against a Pyramad. I mean, eventually you catch up, but their early game is just so strong that they're kind of hitting that mid to late game with way more health than most other people because they just haven't lost rounds. So they're still up somewhere between 35 and 40 health while everybody else is in the kind of mid 20s. So they have a lot more to play with and then a lot more time to find something good in those late rounds where other people are really struggling and worrying about, you know, losing a round or two and taking, you know, 15 to 20 damage in a chunk. So yeah. There's some exceptions. I've had some luck with Deathwing if I find decent minions and late leveling, like late tier 2 leveling mill houses. Obviously, you know, you can find, I think, just enough minions on the budget buying spree that you can go on that you might be able to. So you can beat Pyramad with the heroes that are above him on the list.
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at.
Imagine that.
But yeah, this is a hero that I totally slept on. And haven't had offered to me. I've been wanting to try Pyramad ever since I've been watching him rise. But here we find ourselves. So a wild world that we live in. And again, I'm just saltily staring at Sir Finley going, you never offer me nice things.
Look how like flat and consistent Finley is.
It's a horizon.
He and Toki actually, yeah, it's almost a straight across line.
Toki and Finley are just hanging out. They're like, hey, doesn't it feel so good to be consistent? Yeah. Except Finley would just go, la, la, la. Yeah. Actually, Finley speaks English.
I know, Finley speaks. Come on. Finley he has a fabulous accent.
It's quite the gentleman. Quite the gentle fish man. So, anyways, that's going to bring us to the end of our Battlegrounds talk for this week. We have one more sponsor to thank today before we take your emails, and that's Harry's. They are back. Harry's is like our longest running sponsor. If you are unaware, you should go check them out over at harrys.com/TAC. And I know what you're thinking. Audio listeners who can't see my face. Garrett, what are you doing? Talking about razors? You've got what some, if their standards were low, might refer to as a beard. And you're right. I do.
That's so generous, calling that a beard.
It's officially hot in Florida. I can't keep too much hair on my face. And Harry's helps me with that. But I also have a neck beard that grows way further down my neck than I would like it to grow. And Harry's really helps me keep that in check. And also there's the nasty hairs that are nowhere near my beard line up on in the middle of my cheek. And I just go, what are you doing there? Why is there 7 of you? And you just keep it all. I keep it all in check in a nice little line. I'm a big fan of my Harry's razors. As I mentioned before, they converted me from electric. I'm back on shave gel. It's got aloe in it. It smells amazing. I smell good coming out of the bathroom in the morning, which I generally a morning shower anyway, but it doesn't matter. The freaking the aloe in it, Jocelyn. It's so good. I also tend to have pretty dry skin, so I legitimately like that there's aloe in it. So you should go check them out. They've converted me. I really like their razors. They've got a little trimmer blade too, which really helps me with the detailing. And listeners of the Angry Chicken, you can get a trial set. All you have to do is go to harrys.com/TAC. You're going to get a weighted ergonomic blade. The ergonomic handle. So you get a nice grip. You get the 5-blade razor with lubricating strip and trimmer blade. You get their rich lathering shave gel with aloe, and you get a travel blade so you can take it with you when we start traveling again. So go to harrys.com/TAC and you can start shaving better today. Again, I'm a big fan. I'm really sad that I can't get my hair cut right now, but at least the one thing I can control is my facial hair. And Harry's has really helped me do that. And it just makes me feel a little bit better about showing my face on the internet. A little bit. And then, someone on Twitter ruins that feeling. But, it's okay. It's okay. Harrys.com/TAC. Go check them out. And now, your emails.
Hello?
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
TACpodcast@gmail.com. That's for you. You can send your emails. And if you're a patron, well, congrats. You're in the patron Discord and you can skip the inbox entirely and just message us on there. Nick Schneider wants to know, quick question. As a primarily free-to-play player and one who has been saving gold over the past couple of weeks, what would you suggest is the best use of 2,500 gold once the new expansion releases? The Tavern Pass, as I enjoy Battlegrounds immensely, or are the new rewards for the ladder worth getting 25 packs from Ashes of Outland?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but getting packs from Ashes of Outland no longer unlocks the Battlegrounds rewards the same way.
Correct.
That it used to, right? Okay, because we were talking about how you couldn't double dip anymore.
Correct.
So I mean, if Battlegrounds is your jam, then I would say probably Tavern Pass. However, there are a lot of really good rewards on ladder like we were talking about earlier, so it's not a bad investment necessarily, but if Battlegrounds is where you find your Hearthstone fun, Tavern Pass for sure. You can still, through the Tavern Pass, I mean, you do get the arena tickets as well. So you can go and hit up arena and that's going to give you golden packs and dust and stuff that could then help you over on ladder. So, I mean, it's really kind of tough. If you're doing all the things in Hearthstone right now and you're a free to play player, there's a lot of things to collect and unlock. So yeah. Well, I would probably say Tavern Pass.
If you're doing all the things, you're probably at least a little decent at arena, and you're probably experiencing some sort of efficiency there. But I agree.
And I mean, they're free to enter, right? Your arena tickets means that you're not paying for your arena run. So you just are going to go in and get whatever the bare minimum is that you're awarded from going into the arena, and you had no initial investment, right? So other than the 2,500 gold to get the Tavern Pass, but yeah.
I think the easy and sensible answer is that like if Battlegrounds is your main mode, I really find it hard to
go with your main mode.
Suggest anything else because there's a lot left up to chance because we're all very different in what we enjoy out of constructed card games in general. Like what kind of deck do you like? Are you the type of person that can enjoy playing a deck because you like the archetype, but maybe it's not the best archetype, so you're not going to win a lot? I'm not that type of person. I'm fine losing a little bit, but if I lose a lot, I'm having a bad time. Doesn't matter how much I love the deck. I'm not having a good time. So with like any time you get a question like this, especially around a new expansion, but like the biggest B and the boldest font I could possibly send your direction, especially around a new standard year, I just caution patience. Like just wait it out. See how things unfold. Because if you are legitimately interested in constructed, and let's just for the sake of this conversation say standard constructed, because it's the one that has the least amount of variables in terms of like the efficiency of how far your dust and gold goes in game. That it's standard. Wild there's some really expensive decks in Wild.
Yeah.
So I would wait and see how it shakes out, and see if there are developments in the constructed meta that really pique your interest. That maybe an archetype pops up and it's like your time to shine. You're like, oh man, like I'm really excited about Libram Paladin. Maybe that kicks the door down and is like a tier 1 deck, and suddenly I'm just like, I didn't crack a single Libram card. I guess I know what I'm spending my dust on or my gold on or whatever. That's exactly where I'm going to go down. Whereas on the opposite side, if it's like Warriors tier 1 and everything else is like tier 7, I'm like, I guess I'm playing some Battlegrounds because I don't like Warrior. I don't like playing against it, and I really don't care for piloting it outside of the aggro Warrior. Actually, that's like this weird standout from the last year that I love. But it's just I'm just trying to come up with an example for you. If you can, I would just be patient and see how it shakes out. But if you are feeling a sizable, honest pull to Battlegrounds, just out the gate, just get it and start having fun right away.
You technically do still earn gold in Battlegrounds. It's, 10 gold for every 3 wins. So it's kind of a slog and kind of a joke compared to other ways to get gold in the game, but it does still happen.
Mentioning getting gold from Battlegrounds in the same conversation as talking about like getting into having any sort of like competitive viability and constructed is like saying, hey, I know we need to pay our mortgage, but have you tried looking in the couch?
I know.
Have you tried looking in the couch or under a bus seat? Like
that is something I wish that they would address when it comes out of beta. I mean, especially now that we are directly paying for Battlegrounds, whether that is through your 2,500 gold or through real money, one way or another, it's monetized now, which it wasn't before. So yeah, I hope that they take another pass at the rewards in Battlegrounds, because I mean right now it's rewarding fun, which is great because it's a lot of fun, but I think that they should take another look at how they reward you for actually playing the mode and what you get when you win. That isn't just huzzah the crown or not.
I'm sure this would ruffle some feathers because there's always a feather to ruffle,
always feathers
with anything regarding monetization in video games. But maybe when you buy the Tavern Pass, you unlock some sort of progression that isn't terrible in regards to gold collecting through Battlegrounds. Maybe your wins through Battlegrounds are like multiplied by 3 or something. So you get like 30 gold or something. But
yeah,
I would be interested in that personally, but I'm also the like target demo for this. I really like Battlegrounds. I play it on more than one account. The idea of being able to just throw $20 at the problem on my side account because I want to play on my phone is awesome to me.
Yeah.
Even though,
well, and the other thing is too, Elvix and the Charmer's pointing out, like you don't have to have 4 hero choices, right?
No.
Like he says he's free to play with 2 heroes, so it's doable. It's not like you can't access the mode. It's just the bonuses are nice. So yeah,
I'm 500 MMR away from my main account on my side account with 2 heroes.
Yeah, so totally doable.
Yeah. It's also like I think I legitimately play more on my phone now than I do on on desktop. Like Battlegrounds is the thing I do when I'm away from my computer. But and I kind of like it there. It makes it seem casual, even though I'm like a total freaking tryhard in that mode too. But there's something about it. Like I don't know. You know me. I don't really play Hearthstone on my phone, so this is a nice little change for me.
Yeah.
But
so basically, we don't know, Nick. Sorry.
Be honest with yourself. Is the only damn thing you're gonna play Battlegrounds? Just do it. Just buy the pass. And go have a great time. Anything else, I would say wait. Just wait and see how the meta shakes out. See what you're most interested in, because you're clearly working. You're working on a budget, so you're gonna be able to make the most informed decision. The longer you can wait post expansion launch. So
yeah.
Anyways, let us know what you go with, Nick, and if also let us know if we didn't help you at all and have just paralyzed you further with indecision. So, who's our final question from today?
This one comes to us from Anthony H., who says, "Greetings, Kentucky Fried Curmudgeons. My question is about the legendary border around some of the minions in Battlegrounds. Of course, legendary minions from regular Hearthstone sport their signature dragon drapings in Battlegrounds, but some Battlegrounds minions are exclusive to the mode, and they also have legendary borders. Why? At first, I thought it must be linked to the Tavern tier. 6-star minions are legendary. But no, that's not the case. Wax Rider Togwaggle is legendary, but only in tier 2. Both the Zap Slywick and Ghast Coiler are in tier 6, but Zap is legendary and Coiler is not, which it should be. If anyone gets a dragon border, it should be that snake. It's amazing. Anyways, that was an aside. Literally all Battlegrounds minions let you have multiple copies in your build, so that doesn't have anything to do with it either. What gives? Also, some Battlegrounds only minions have class colored borders. Did you notice? Thank you for all your awesome content and keep on clucking." So this is like conspiracy central here because, oh, wait, Garrett, what?
I have a very simple answer.
Oh, okay.
Sneed's old shredder.
Ah, interesting. Damn, I was going to go like full, although Sneed's doesn't really explain the class colored borders, does it?
The class colored borders, I don't have a simple answer for you there. But
okay.
As to why.
So we can go conspiracy about class colored border cards then.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, that does make sense that because Sneed's old shredder pulls legendary minions, it has to somehow pull from that mode. And yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Some of the minions with the class colored borders are out of the Rastakon's Rumble dungeon run, which is why you and I don't know about them. But there were class specific minions that were unique to that mode that have made their way into.
I still have not done that content. I
will
refuse.
Die. I will be in the grave before I play that mode. I just don't.
The only thing that would make me play Rastakon's Rumble is if somehow not only did I hit legend, but I was so suddenly amazing at Hearthstone and had nothing else to do with my time that I managed to not only qualify for a Masters Tour, but finish high enough to get the Golden Celebration card back. Because then I would have literally every card back in the game, except for the Rastakon's Rumble ones. And then I'd be like, okay, I need to finish my collection. Then, and only then, after I get the Golden Celebration card back, would I go and actually get the Rastakon's Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, I don't think Holy Mackerel was one of them. So I have no idea why Holy Mackerel has a paladin.
Because it says holy in it.
Priest would like a word. But yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so the crazy conspiracy theory is because eventually these things aren't going to stay in Battlegrounds, that they're going to come into, regular Hearthstone, standard Hearthstone, that these are previews of cards we're going to get in next expansions, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, if they're already from Rastakon's Rumble with the class colors, then that makes sense. But yeah,
some of them
there are
aren't.
Still some that aren't. Yeah, so.
Some of them aren't, and I can't even confirm which ones are. I just know some people pointed it out to me in the past. Because I don't know. I didn't play that mode. I was very done with dungeon runs by that time, and Bob hadn't been introduced yet.
Yeah.
I could do
Post dungeon run, pre Bob world. It was dark times.
A, I could do with another dungeon run. I'm in the mood. B, I could do with an extra day to enjoy said dungeon run. Like an extra day in the week.
Yep.
That isn't a I haven't really thought about this. The class, but like to me, like holy mackerel is just like, yeah, of course it's paladin. It's a freaking holy freaking fish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe these are some cards that ended up on the cutting room floor and they found a home in Battlegrounds, maybe.
Yeah, it just seems so intentional that they're throwing, class borders on it. I think Gas Coiler's from. I think that was the Gas Coiler. Yes. Rumble Run. Gas Coiler. It was originally appeared in Rumble Run as a priest card in that. So that's why it has the priest background, or like it's a white card. And so, okay, cool. I'm glad I was able to at least confirm one of these. So I'm starting to think, I'm like, were people lying to me? Did I just take them at face value? Do I believe everything I read on the internet? Can confirm. Very cool. Wow, this is a head scratcher, and I don't believe if anyone from Blizzard is still in our chat room, they're being mighty quiet right now.
Yeah.
Mighty quiet.
In fairness, it's been a while since I've seen either one of them type anything, but
Yes.
yeah, it's definitely interesting.
They could feel it. They could feel the hard question coming on.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going ghost. We're going silent. We're going stealth. I'm not going to make the stealth noise. Anyways, this brings us to the end of this episode. Keep the emails coming, everybody. tacpodcast@gmail.com is where you can send those emails. Again, if you are a patron, you have access to the patron-only Discord. You do have to link your Patreon account to Discord, and then you automatically get added. Poof, you're there. It's a great little community. Go check it out. Speaking of our patrons, we want to thank you one more time. Thank you so much for supporting us. If you want to support Jocelyn and myself on The Angry Chicken, head on over to patreon.com/TAC. Every pledge helps, and it's an opt-in subscription, so you can give whatever you want. So we really appreciate it. Also, huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Declan H and Cheesy Bob. Thank you for the support, you too. If you want to catch more Angry Chicken, head on over to amove.tv for the entire back catalog. You'd also go to youtube.com/amovetv, and we have a new Amove 2 channel. That's where full-length VODs are going. So there's not enough subs yet for a custom URL. But if you just search for Amove 2 on YouTube, you will find it. I'm also linking the full-length VODs and the clips that are going up on the old Amove channel, which will probably be rebranded to an Angry Chicken channel very soon. So I just haven't gotten around to making new assets. It's almost like there's so much Hearthstone going on. I'm too busy playing the game and making sure the notes are in order, because there's a lot of things to wrap our heads around and I don't want to misspeak. So, yeah. Check all that stuff out. Jocelyn, outside of Angry Chicken, where can everyone find you?
You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at Joss Plays. That's JOCE Plays.
This show and every other one I do is over at amove.tv. Recorded a brand new WoW killer today. I'll be recording a brand new Into the Nexus tomorrow. And a new Let's Talk About Star Wars will be coming as soon as I can herd Tom Merritt and Jenny Josephson into a Skype call to talk Clone Wars. You can find all of that and more over at amove.tv. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so very much for watching and listening. We will see you next week for the freaking launch. The launch of Ashes of Outland. We're going through the Dark Portal, and it's not to lame-ass old Draenor. We'll see you.
That expansion.
We'll see you then. But until then, job's done.
Job's done.
I had a lot of fun on that episode. I loved Thrall interrupting the sponsor.
Oh my
read.
God.
That was
and
so
it wasn't
great.
just like, he's like sleeping at my feet right now. He always jumps up on my lap at some point during the episode, but I don't know what it is about, whether it's me being home and working from home. I have like a lot of video meetings through the day too. And so he's been jumping up on my lap so much more, and he's discovered that the little volume knobby on my headphones is actually really fun to play with. So he literally like jumped up on my lap and then turned my headphones off, so I couldn't even hear what you were saying. I was just like, Yeah, sofas, couches, nailing it.
Oh,
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Oh man, I thought you recovered really well. I didn't realize that you lost audio. So well
Yeah,
played.
no, I had no idea what you were saying. All I knew is that you were making movement with your mouth and then stopped, and I was like, "Oh no, he threw to me! Oh my god!"
Is there a special pack opening stream? No, because you now work during the day.
Yeah, I am working during the day, so I will. I guess we're gonna do the show on Tuesday. I'm guessing, or are we doing the show on Wednesday?
It hadn't occurred to me yet. I mean,
Okay.
we could just do a Wednesday, which would give us some actual time to actually enjoy the expansion rather than it's out. What have you done? Nothing? Me too.
Nothing. Yeah. Okay.
Let's just keep
Which
it
was
Wednesday.
the whole reason that we moved it to Wednesday in the first place, right? Was to give ourselves a chance to actually play the stuff that came out on Tuesday and then talk about it the next
more
day.
and more
So
announcements were like happening Wednesday morning, and
that too. Yeah.
things are getting moved to Thursday. It's just not a perfect day. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Perfect day would
So
probably be
anyways,
Friday, but I'll be dead in the grave before I do a Friday evening recording.
Friday night
of
show.
anything.
Yeah. But yeah, so Tuesday I will have gamers in and I'll be recording that at some point Tuesday evening, but then I will be streaming my pack openings. So I'm basically going to do like my normal 9 to 5 work. Then I'm going to roll that right into Gamers In. Then I'm going to eat. And then I'm going to stream after that. So I will still do a pack opening stream, but it'll be later in the evening on Tuesday.
I will probably do my own pack opening stream during the day, unless there's some major freelance I need to take care of. But
Yeah.
expect
So
me.
we won't. This is going to be our first expansion not opening cards together, Garrett.
I know. I will feel so much luckier than I usually do.
Oh, I feel so bad.
Things change.
Maybe I'll just like play the VOD of your stream in the background of my stream. And so it's up to you, since you're recording first, to every once in a while go, damn it, Joss, another legendary? So that
I will
it
just,
makes sense in my
at
stream.
random
Yeah.
intervals, I will go, oh,
Yeah.
eat shit.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
And like one of them is going to sync up and chat room is
Yeah.
going to be Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah.
And the rest of them is just going to sound like I am randomly cussing you out for no reason in the background.
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's my plan anyways. Maybe if you're around later on Tuesday nights, we can maybe get some games in or something. But yeah, we'll see. We'll let you guys know. But that's the tentative plan.
Rad. Well, chat, I'm going to bring the stream down. Oh, actually, I hadn't considered this. This is going to be the first time I have better luck than you, and you won't be there for me to rub it into your face in real time. Alas. Anyways, chat,
And you're gonna miss out all the times that I say, "Ooh, legendary."
somebody clip that. I actually don't have a clip of that. I'm just going to put it on my board and play it when I crack legendaries. There we go.
Done and done.
All right, chat. I'm going to bring the stream down. Thanks so much for hanging. Y'all were awesome tonight.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.